Welcome to the Real Estate Pros of Houston podcast, where host Mark Zachary talks to high-producing real estate agents in the Houston area about their story and what makes them so successful. Each episode, our guests will tell you what they're doing that works and what makes them so successful, as well as insights that will help you take your business to the next level. Now, here's Mark delivering a true real estate pro of Houston.
Hey everybody, Mark Zachary with Next Step Home Loans and host of the podcast that is called Real Estate Pros of Houston. And we welcome you today to another episode. And today I have some guests here, Gary, Bisha, and Mike Greiner. And they have a really very successful business here in the Houston area. And we're going to talk to them today about what's making them so successful in what they do, and ask a few questions about their team and just get to know them a little bit better. So Gary and Mike, we sure appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you, Mark.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Well, you have a very good reputation around the area. Great producer. We've done a lot of research, and we are seeking out the top agents in the Houston area, and you guys popped up as one of them. So obviously you're doing something right, and you're not, I don't see your name on huge billboards and things like that. It sounds like you're just doing this the old-fashioned way of earning it and just working hard to get it done. So just kind of tell us your story from how long you've been doing this, and a little bit about your team. And then I'm going to dive into maybe some personal stuff as well about how long you've been in the Houston area and things like that. So kind of just tell us, maybe we'll get two stories today, one from Gary and then one from Mike as well. So just tell us your story.
Sure. And I'll start, and I'll ask Mike to jump in at any point. We started in 2001, actually as a for sale by owner magazine. And we found there was a niche market for people who wanted to sell their home on their own. And shortly thereafter, we realized that people liked the concept of for sale by owner, but wanted to be on the MLS. So we started offering what's called a flat fee MLS. As the years developed, our real estate company grew more and more, and we're a real estate company that has a for sale by owner division per se. And but the key, I think, to our success is that we've always given our clients a choice. We're not a big box brokerage, with rules and things that restrict their agents from having to adhere to. We believe in giving the client the choice. We offer for sale by owner services. We offer flat fee MLS services, full service real estate, buying or selling. So the big difference between us and I think anybody else is that we're a full choice brokerage.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, gotcha. Did you used to do the for sale by owner presentations? There was a hotel that I could have swore that I went to one, but I don't know if it was you or not.
Yes, it was. We did probably 4 or 5 years of radio as well on KSEV, and we were able to market our seminars at that time. And really, it was Sell Your Home 101. And we got anywhere from 20 to 100 people every month coming to these seminars. And it was just a great outlet for us to be able to tell people what we do and give them a choice.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. I think this was, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 years ago, and it was at a hotel right off of 290. And you were telling me that you're off of 290 and
the Best Western.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, see, I know you, and I didn't even know that I knew you.
We did it right up until COVID. COVID kind of ended that process for us. Obviously, people didn't really want to go out and be in groups. We're actually thinking about bringing it back on a podcast such as this.
I tell you, it's if you want to know how to do these, it's very easy, and we'll be glad to show you how to get this started.
Oh, that'd be great.
Matter of fact, I set up Ron's right next door to me So you better watch out. He's going to start doing them here pretty quickly. So the COVID was a horrible thing, obviously, but it opened up so much more technology that allows you to reach a lot bigger group of people than what you can house in Best Western or wherever. And I know those things can still work, but boy, this certainly gives you the opportunity to draw a bigger cup. Is the way I look at it. That if you want more business, usually we'll draw a cup and say, I'm going after everybody in that circle. Well, now you can draw a much bigger cup because of the technology that's available. Because you can take these podcasts, like we said before we started taping, and put these on all your YouTube channels, on all your podcasts, and on your websites as well. So, well, very good. Well, I can't believe that when you said that, I was like, I've been there. I know what you're talking about. That was a great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really just tried to teach people. There was, as you probably know, there was no sales involved. We really taught people how to sell your home 101 from just start to finish.
Were you the ones that did there's a magazine out there as well? Did you do that?
That was us.
That was us.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
We
distributed. I know some celebrities and
TVs.
How many?
Yeah.
We had about 1,000 distribution locations. It was 100 pages thick at one time. But like many things during COVID, that was one of the things that we had to let go. But yeah, that was us, the For Sale by Owner, Texas For Sale by Owner magazine.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, it's really great to see you guys again, and great to meet you again. And
pleasure.
Do what?
It was our pleasure.
Yeah, the name Gary Bisha was very familiar to me, and Mike, that was a name that I've heard several times, and I was like, man, I think I know him, but I'm just not sure where. But now I know. So anyway, so you've been doing this since 2000 what?
2001.
Okay. So what are some challenges right now that you're seeing in the business, whether it's educating the borrower or the sellers? What are some of your challenges?
I think the industry-wide, the big challenge is the concerns over interest rates. But I think if you dig deeper, interest rates have actually come down a little bit, as you know.
Yeah.
Historically, they're not a bad rate. I think we were spoiled rotten with the 2 or 3% interest rates for so many years. But that's probably the biggest challenge, just the perception of that right now. It's still a good time to buy. If you have a need to buy a house, buy it. And if you're concerned that interest rates are too high, historically, there's always fluctuations. I'm guessing in 2 years from now, there's going to be a really big refi boom.
Yeah.
One of the
think
things
you're
I
right,
Mark, is I think over the last couple of years, this big rush on houses, people overpaid. And there are some people right now who I think may be underwater, where they're not going to be able to get out of it what they paid for it, because, we all saw that bidding war of, I've got to have that house. And I think that is stopping some people as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a perception that these rates are going to go back to 2 or 3, and I think that's long gone. I've been doing this 28 years, and most of my career, rates have been in the 5s and 6s. This is normal for me. What wasn't normal was 2 and 3% interest rates, and I sold the lowest rate I ever sold in 28 years about a year and a half ago, and it was 1.75. Well, that's craziness right there.
Yeah.
And that could not continue. That drove the overbidding that you're talking about, Mike, and that the prices, they're saying, well, the prices are coming down. Well, they're not coming down enough to offset these people that paid $40,000 and $50,000 more for their house than it was worth, because it was just a buying frenzy. And those are the people that are kind of seeing their values come off more than others. But man, that frenzy just could not continue. I'm afraid that if rates do continue to drop, which are during the mid fives now, if they continue to drop even further, we're going to have this frenzy again because the inventory is just not there.
Yeah.
I heard a stat the other day that 60% of the mortgages right now have a 2 point something or a 3 point something in front of them. So those people are less likely to move because they would have to go to a 5 or a 5.5
and pay more for a house.
Right, right. So I think if you've got anybody that's sitting on the fence, whatever we can do to help push them off, we'll do, because I think they need to be pushed off, because it's not going to take much for another buyer frenzy to take off again, which is good for sellers, but horrible for buyers. I mean, my kids were almost priced out of the market. Had there not been a situation where they had friends that sold them their house without having to, get a realtor involved and put it out in the market and things like that. It was just done between friends. So that's one challenge you got. What else are you looking at?
Well, Mark, you're talking about, I will say this probably, and I know Gary will back me on it. This has been one of the busiest months in the last 3 or 4 months. We're putting homes on the market and they're getting multiple offers in 1 or 2 days. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the perception out there is that it's not a great real estate market. We're experiencing something totally different. Yeah. I'm not saying that every house is getting these multiple offers, but there's certainly enough of them. And, because I think you mentioned a minute ago, there's a shortage of homes in Houston. The city continues to grow, and there's just not enough houses. So I think it's still a pretty good market here.
Yeah, you're not the only one that has told me multiple offers in a short period of time. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine 30 minutes ago, and the house hit the market Friday, and I think they've already had 2 offers. Their offer was turned down, and they're like, I thought it was kind of slow out here. And I said, no, the problem is you need to turn off the news.
Yes, exactly.
The news is the one giving you all this, stuff about being a bad market and a bad time to buy. I think it's a great time to buy.
I do too.
Yeah. So any other challenges that you may be having other than the rates and the expectations of people?
I can't think of
anything either. Of course, we'd love to have more listings.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So what are 3 3 non-negotiables for you guys in your business? Things that have to happen, or we're not going to keep the doors open next month? Or what are 3 non-negotiables that you guys practice every day or every month that to really set you guys apart from everybody?
I'm not 100% sure what you're asking.
Like lead generation, and I have to have my calendar time blocked. I have to do this, or this is not going to happen. I've got to lead generate, or we're not going to hit our numbers. Is there anything in your business that you have to do in order to stay successful in what you do? Does that make sense?
It does. And you mentioned lead generators. We really don't put any money into lead generation. Since we've been in business for so long, and we've provided, I think, really great service with great results, I'm going to say at least half of our clients are referral business. People that use this, minimum half that have used us and continue to come back to us, and then they tell somebody else, and they tell somebody else, because our business model is unique. There's not a lot like Mike and Gary out there, and we've got a track record. So lead generation is not a big thing for us. Although we love new business. Don't get me wrong, and We are going to put some money into our websites this spring to try to draw new business into the doors.
Well, I bet you do lead generation, whether you know it or not, because the way you treat people is lead generating. So if you're getting a referral over and over again, like you guys are getting, that speaks volume to the way you do your business in the first place.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of people think that, okay, we do the flat fee listings and we're just taking a listing and, you're kind of for sale by loaner. You're not. You've got a full service brokerage behind you. We hold their hand from start to finish. People are very surprised. Geez, you went over and above what we thought you were going to do. But again, that's the customer service aspect that I think is missing all over the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that when Mike and I, when we started this business, we both came from the corporate world, and we didn't want this to be that mentality. We wanted this to be something where our business reflected us, and we wanted to treat people like we wanted to be treated. What it means calling them back or email them back in a very timely manner. We respond, like Mike says, 24/7.
Unfortunately,
much to the chagrin of our wives, we're on all the time, but that's what the industry, that's what the business requires, and that's why we've been successful. So
I'll share the fact that I went on a Cape Buffalo hunt in Africa and wrote a contract in the middle of the bush. That is the truth.
That's dedication.
Oh man, I haven't done that yet. That's pretty impressive. I like that. It's this business is so personal, and if you give the help that it sounds like you guys give, then it's not a transaction. I say there's so many transactional focused agents these days that they close the deal and they forget who they closed the deal with within a week, and they're off chasing the next deal. And they don't take care of the consumer after the time that they spent showing them the house and all that. They just forget them. And so this business ought to get easier the longer you're in it, because you're building the backlog of people that have used you in the past. And if you've done a good job like you guys have, they'll continue to send you business. And then you don't have to pay for the big billboards. You don't have to run the big ads, because the word of mouth is what is doing it. I teach a class about the 5 things that cause agents to fail and why you won't be one of them if you do these things. And one of them is just flat staying in touch with the people that you've closed. Mm-hmm. And we all say, and I'm not saying just the real estate community, the mortgage industry does as well. We do a pretty poor job of staying in touch with people. And we say we want to be your lender and your realtor for life. And yet we only stay in touch with them for 30 days of their life. Yeah. And then we get surprised that when we see them online that they bought another house. And you're like, oh, why didn't you use me? Well, you didn't stay in touch with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a specific CRM that you use, or have you developed one?
We have a text system that we've set up where we will communicate with our clients once a month, once every 2 months.
Yeah.
We also use MailChimp to send out an email 2 or 3 times a year. We don't like spam. We don't like annoyance calls. We don't try not to overbear. We try to do it. We have something useful to say, something that would be to their benefit. I don't think we really have too many complaints about it. It's not too overbearing, but it's enough to remind them that, hey, we're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the biggest challenge of people staying in touch is if they closed today, they probably won't need you again for 7 years at least. Right. And a lot of agents stop communicating after about 12 months, if they even do that, because their CRM is built out to where they touch them every few months for 12 months, and then they fall off. And so kudos to you, because text, man, we all know what the percentage of text getting read is. It's a Very, very high number.
Where I think people lose on that, though, also, Mark, is referrals. And like we said, that's half our business. If somebody had a good experience and you're staying in touch with them, hey, they're going to talk to a friend who may be selling. And who did you use? I use these guys. And again, that's more than half our business.
And we haven't really talked about it in our discussion today, but our services, we talked, they do vary, that most businesses don't offer. I'd like to, emphasize, we are a full service real estate company. We have agents that work for us, and we do full service where we'll do all the showings, do open houses, and really everything. Mm-hmm. We also offer the flat fee MLS at the same time. So that's the big advantage that I think that we offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you dive into the flat fee mortgage a little bit more in regards to what they do or what you do for that fee? And if you want to give that out, that's fine. If you don't, we'll have people contact you directly after this. But kind of tell me how that works.
We're proud of our rates. They haven't changed in 21 years.
21 years.
Really? It's TexasFSBO.com, TexasFSBO.com.
Okay.
And our platinum package, which is our most popular package, it's $1,000. And what that includes, we'll list your home on the MLS, same MLS that everybody else uses. It syndicates to HAR, Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. All the real estate brokerages pull from there. You're going to get the same marketing, if not more, because we're going to advertise you on TexasFSBO.com, and we also do a significant amount of social media marketing. So the marketing is there, 110% of what you typically receive with a traditional agent. Our seller's responsibility is to manage the showings, and we use the same showing time app that realtors use, so they're not taking phone calls, and their involvement's fairly limited.
I was about to ask you how that was managed.
Yes, what happens if an agent would like to see the house, they schedule through the showing time app. Showing time app verifies who the agent is. Then they will give out the showing information and let the seller know that so and so is showing the house tomorrow between 3 and 4. So I mean, it's a very very efficient system, and it's what all the agents use, and it's been very successful.
So obviously the seller has to be willing to pay the buyer's agent a commission, correct? Or you probably wouldn't get agents to even show the house, or am I totally off, and you want to set me straight on how I'm seeing that?
Our recommendation to our clients is to offer a buyer agent 3%.
Okay.
But like our business model is, it's about choice. They make that final decision.
Yeah.
But we will tell them, we'll be right up front and say that we recommend 3%. We don't gain a penny for telling you that, but we want you to be successful, and that'll get you the most traffic from the agent market, because there's still a lot of buyers that are using agents. Then, of course, if you sell it on your own and there's no agent involved with, no agent brought the buyer, there's no commission. So our clients have the opportunity to save 6%, but at minimum, they're saving 3%.
And they can also price it accordingly, where they don't have to mark it up a full 6%. So if they mark it up just to 3%, that makes their home priced more competitively in the neighborhood.
It's yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys have, do y'all put a normal sign in the yard? What does the sign say? Does it say for sale by owner, or do you have your own, signage that you use for your company?
It's a Texas FSBO, Texas for sale by owner sign, because we want their phone number to be on the sign, because they're trying to save the 6%.
Yeah.
We can put our number there, but in that case, they're saving 3% if we bring a buyer. But our recommendation is, if you feel comfortable taking those phone calls, we put your sign there. You take those calls, make sure they're pre-approved before you show the house. But at the same time, we give them the option. If they want us to handle them, we're happy to handle them.
Yeah.
But Mark, one thing I was talking about the package. This is the most important part of that platinum package. And Mike mentioned earlier, it's not for sale by owner. is that when the offers start coming in, that's when Mike and Gary and our staff here step in, and we help with all the paperwork, the negotiations. If it's an offer from an agent, that's included. We take the offer, we analyze it, we do a seller net sheet for our client, and then we discuss with the client and strategize a response. Then it gets under contract. We review the inspections, and then you counter any requests on that. So it really is about, it's close to a full service listing without paying 6%.
And all of this is for $1,000?
It's $1,000. Yes.
Wow.
It's a very good bargain. It's a very good value, I should say.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm surprised you're able to take an hour out of your time to be on this podcast.
We are too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now I really appreciate your time. I know how valuable it is.
It gets even better, Mark.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling your house, you need to buy a house. And as a brokerage, we can help you with buying the house. And again, we offer everything full service if they'd like, where we will show 40, 50 homes. We've even showed, I think, up to 100 homes with one client, so. But at the same time, we recognize that a lot of our buyers, our clients, do much of the research themselves and maybe drive the neighborhoods. They go to open houses and they see one house they really like. And then they call their realtor friend up and says, I'll show it to you. And they get paid 3%. The realtor friend does. We say, you have enough friends. Let us be your realtor. And, and if you've done some of the legwork and we're not showing 100 homes, it's maybe a half a dozen homes are the ones you really like. We rebate back anywhere from a third to a half of the commission to our clients. You can use it towards closing costs, buy down your interest rate. It's a partnership. Even with like selling a home, buying a home, it's partnerships with our client. And you've done some of the work and you're rewarded for some of that work. So that's one of our top programs is the buy side.
Wow, I'm almost speechless here with the service that you guys offer. I mean, I remember it being good from the hotel conference room, but man, I guess I wasn't paying quite as much attention back then as I am now. This is like a unicorn deal here. It just doesn't exist. That sounds too good to be true. I'm sure you have made some interesting friends in the real estate community because of the way you do business. And friends is being used lightly.
When we first started, we kind of felt that way. I mean, Mike always commented that you walk in any major brokerage in Houston and there'd be a dartboard with our pictures on it.
I think Har sold those.
Yes. But over the years, I think now they look at it and say, okay, here's a listing. It's My Castle Realty as our brokerage. And they see My Castle Realty, Mike Greiner, Gary Bisha, or any of our agents, and they know they're going to have support on the other end. They know that we're going to pick up the phone or return an email. If an offer comes in on a Saturday, they're going to hear from us.
Or if you're in the bush out in Alaska somewhere hunting, right?
Yes.
No, I took those calls. I promise you.
That is hilarious.
I think maybe there's some of our competition out there that doesn't do all that, but I think they find that we're the real deal. We haven't been doing this for 22 years without providing that.
So I think one of the things the agents are afraid of is they're going to have to do all the work on both sides.
No, I can see that.
If we're behind it, we're going to be there and backstop that seller.
And ironically, we have a lot of agents that list through us. Do our flat fee program.
Really?
Yeah.
I just had one go under contract. He was an agent yesterday.
Is that right?
They don't want to pay commission.
They don't want to pay the commission to their brokerage.
That's funny. So what percent of people that start out as a FSBO, a for sale by owner, end up going, maybe they start with the platinum series like you were mentioning, but they end up going to a full service situation? Do you have a certain percent that most of them stay there?
I mean, I can't sit here and look in the eye and say we close every home, but I can't think of anybody I think one client in the last 6 months that went to another agent because he moved out of state. And that's also unique in that most cases, if they have that issue where they're moving out of state, we can step in as a full service agent for them. And so we can cover both ends,
which we have.
We have done it many times. Yeah. So, but it's really, if a house doesn't sell, okay, what sells a house? Location, the house itself, the market, and price. So if you get a house that's in a good location and it's in good condition, and a market's decent, the only variable is going to be price. And and we will do a regular comparable market analysis for our clients. But if it doesn't sell, it's usually a price issue. And but if all those four things are working, why wouldn't the house sell? Whether it's with Mike or Gary or Joe's Realty, I mean, why wouldn't it sell? So, and then like Mike mentioned earlier, you're not stuck paying a full 6% commission. So if the market has softened a little bit, you've got that advantage right there. We call it the FSBO advantage. That pricing wise, you can either use that commission to hold on to, or if you have to lower the price a little bit, you can do that. But that's 3 or 6% that the other guys out there can't offer.
Well, we were talking a few minutes ago about the craziness of the market over the last few years, and it always, I don't know, made me laugh that you would see post after post during those times from a realtor that said, I got 50,000 more than the asking price, or I've got 30,000 more than the asking price. And I thought, you know what? It wasn't your ability to sell 50,000 more. It was the market in general. So you don't see any of those bragging posts being made right now. That's for sure. So
like client had to discount the house $50,000, but I sold it.
Yeah. So that was always funny to me. But
years have been really interesting experience. And a lot of times you just put a sign out front and it would sell with multiple offers. But it's more of I think Mike mentioned, it's a normal market now. It's a balanced market.
And so what would you rather have? What we had in 2 years ago or today's normal market?
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question because it was easy selling houses last year. Again, didn't take a lot of effort to sell it. But at the same time, people didn't need us as much. They put a sign in the front yard. And, they want to do for sale by owner, just go to Home Depot. It's different now. You can't go. The Home Depot sign isn't going to work today. You need some more services, and that's why Mike and I we're burning both ends of the candle right now with new listings, and because people want to sell it. They know the market's a lot different than it was a year ago. So again, it's a double-edged sword. Again,
I think on the buyer side, though, it was more difficult last year because you've got some people that are they're heart set on buying this house, and they're going in $10,000 over, and they're not even sniffing. What it's
not even getting considered.
It was heartbreaking for a lot of our clients, just trying to find them homes, and definitely a better time to be a buyer agent today.
Yeah, I felt sorry for so many people, especially teachers, and I mean nurses could probably afford more because they get paid more. But my daughter was a teacher, and so I just felt, man, if this doesn't slow down, you guys are going to get totally priced out of the market, and you may never get the opportunity to buy here. And so luckily the situation of a friend, decided to sell their house, and they were moving up to Dallas. And I said, hey, we would love to have the opportunity to have our girls come look at this and see about buying it. And so what they did is they did not have to they reduced their price that they were going to ask by 6% because they weren't going to have to pay anybody. Yep. So your concept is Very good.
How that works, huh?
And and another thing, in those scenarios, people use us to help them with the contracts. We do charge a flat fee to do that. Where I got a buyer, I got a seller, call Texas FSBO, and they'll write up the contract. My Castle Realty, we'll write up the contract for them for $600, versus hiring an attorney for $2,000 or paying an agent 6%.
Right.
So that's been we did a lot of that last year.
Do you help them price the house as well, or do you get them to do an appraisal, or how is that determined?
Couple different ways. We will give them a full comparative market analysis. Gary and I do it personally. We'll sit down, learn about the house, maybe go out and visit it. We'll give them exactly where we think the price is. I'm an accountant by trade. I don't guess on numbers. So I want them to know, look, this is where we think it's going to price and where it's going to sell. If you want to go higher, that's fine. I don't have a financially vested interest for what your home sells for. I'm not making a commission, but I'm going to give you a number that if an appraiser comes in, you know what, I can pull comps and show him where I came up with that number. It's up to them where they want to price it. There are some houses, and you just can't pull comps on. And sometimes we may suggest they do get an appraisal, and that's up to them. One thing we do ask, wherever they want to price it, if after 2 weeks, and we follow with them, if you're not getting a lot of activity, you're not getting offers, let's retake a look at where that pricing is and make an adjustment after 2 weeks.
You see people that are pretty receptive to making that change, and is there a certain percentage you look to come down at that point?
Well, we probably know where it's going to be, and these people have probably priced it over what our advice would have been for them to originally price the home.
Yeah. I always talk about that. They price the fact in that their kid's height is marked on the wall somewhere. And
I think if you remember, we talked about pricing. They priced it with their heart and not their head.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Mike mentioned, we don't have a financially vested interest. We're not making a commission when we do this. And we're going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know, what you want to hear. We're going to be right up front. If you want to price it high, that's up to you. But we're telling you what our professional opinion is.
You can price it where you want to, but know that it will sit there longer the higher.
Yeah. We don't let them go that long, though, Mark. We will revisit with them in 2 weeks. We probably have over 100 listings each, and I'm following each one of them, weekly to see where they are, where they need to be, how much activity they're getting, and where we think they need to be after that 2 weeks. And they are receptive to it because everybody thinks their house is going to sell in the first week. Yeah. And then they're depressed when they only had one showing and nobody wanted to put an offer in. And then they're calling us saying, what did we do wrong? So we're used to that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I told you 30 minutes would fly by, and we're at 37 as of right now. And there is no doubt that I'm going to ask you guys to come back and let's dive a little bit more into what you do and how you do it and all of that. I'd love to have you back if you have time to get on.
Absolutely.
So before we go, though, I want you to tell me a little bit about your team and if you're looking to add people to your team, because there's nothing worse than having to work 24/7 like you guys sound like you're doing. So are you looking to grow your team?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you looking for buyer's agents or people that do more listing side of things, or what are you looking for?
We look for both. We just ask that they have an open mind, that they're not ingrained in the traditional mindset of a real estate agent, that they're open to the concept that there are alternate ways to sell a home. Again, we are 100% somebody wants full service. We believe there's a market for both. And whether I do full service or the flat fee, we want an agent that can believe in both concepts. And listing agents, buyer agents. We are also a brokerage in San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas. So we desperately need an agent in those markets. Well, mainly Dallas. I need somebody. So somebody again with that open-minded mentality.
Yeah. Is the majority of your business here in Houston?
Houston is number one by far. Dallas is number two. We've got a significant amount in Austin and San Antonio. We're Bryan, Couch Station, Beaumont, but those are the main markets.
Okay. Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to get your contact information. I know the number is scrolling across the bottom, so they can grab that. But we want to definitely get your contact information down the road as we wrap up in a few minutes. But are you guys looking to, possibly sell this business down the road, or you plan on doing this till you die, or what's your exit
I've got
plan?
keys in my hand. We don't have any today, no, but 22 years has been a long time, and
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. But the problem is trying to find somebody like-minded in our services and how we do it to be able to pass that on, because there's just a lot of people out there that we deal with, referrals, and that was one thing you talked about is 24/7. The problem with all the referrals is those people are expecting the same thing that the other person got. So a lot of it is on Gary and I that we can't pass some things off to them.
Right. If you could go back and kind of restart or change something in your business, what would it be?
I think earlier on we would jumped into the buyer side of real estate. Back when we had 100 people at those seminars, we really didn't touch on that. We were purist, Still Banner Magazine, advertise here, and we really didn't touch on the buy side until later years. That's the number one thing.
Okay.
I always say don't look back; it could be worse.
Yeah. Well, so with all of your, if the magazine is not, you're not doing that anymore, but are you doing any advertising on Facebook or anything like YouTube, or how do you help market the houses? Or do you?
We do a considerable amount of social media with the houses.
Okay.
We've got our websites, texasfisbo.com, mycastlerealty.com. Both of them, for not putting as much time into the SEO, both of them have a lot of traffic and bring a lot of business to our clients.
Yeah.
So,
wow. I can imagine. I can see why you guys are so busy. So, my last question before the lightning round, which that's always a fun lightning round, but everybody, successful people always go off and plan the year or the month, take a certain day of the year or month and figure out what their plan looks like for the next quarter or whatever. Do you guys have a set time that you guys get away from your business to go plan the next year or the next quarter to say, hey, this is working, this is not working, what are we going to do to improve this or that? Or what is your planning strategy throughout the year?
well, we have at the end of the year, we have our staff submits their goals for the upcoming year and reviews what they did for last year's goals. And it includes Mike and I. So we set our own personal goals throughout the year, and I leave mine right on my desk to remind me of what I'm doing or not doing. So
and we meet with them quarterly to see where they are, what they need help with, how are they going to get those goals accomplished if they're behind on them, and what their game plan is.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important to be successful. I mean, when in that same class that I was talking about earlier, I think a major part of people's failure is they don't have a plan. And number one, they don't know what they want to make. And so they don't have a plan to make what they don't even know they want to make. So I'm amazed at the number of people that just don't know their numbers. They don't know how many calls they need to make to get an appointment. They don't know how many appointments they need to have to get a listing or a buyer's agent. And so, yeah, kudos to you guys for writing down those goals and keeping them on your desk, like Gary said, and for you guys working with them on okay, you're behind here. Let's let's not continue to get further and further behind because we ignore our goals. So, okay, well, that's going to wrap it up. Other than my my lightning round of stuff, and then we'll wrap everything up from there. So, what is y'all's, or individually, what is a favorite author or speaker that you have learned a lot from?
I would just say a speaker, Ronald Reagan.
I love him.
But the man inspires me to this day. Just his communication skills and the way he was able to just reach to the people, whether, regardless which side of the aisle you were on.
Yeah.
He had an amazing talent to communicate.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it's funny. I just saw one of Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels, and there's a lot of little clips of his speeches, and I'm like, okay, I'm saving that one because I love to get those over and over and see the different speeches.
Inspired optimism, and that's
Yes.
it's one of the things I think we need severely this part
Yeah.
of our history.
Yeah, turn the news off, and it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is because of all the stories being told on the screen. So, favorite vacation spot? Or do you guys even having time for a vacation?
Well, Mike talked about doing a deal in Africa. I did a couple of deals in Vail, Colorado last week. So,
wow,
my favorite vacation spot, and in the whether it's good or bad, the cell reception is very, very strong in Vail. I say it's good because I can do deals. It's bad because I don't get away. So,
right.
I would say Africa.
I've never been there. Never been there.
It was more beautiful than Alaska.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay. Well, I ask everybody that question because I'm trying to make up a bucket list of where I want to go visit. So now I get to add Africa. Favorite pastime or hobby for you guys?
I would just say working out.
Okay.
Oh, I have a couple. Obviously, snow skiing. My wife and I, we love to hike and bike. So it's,
okay.
I think it's outdoor activities for me.
Gotcha. Well, this is a great day to be moving your desk outside because it is gorgeous outside.
Yes.
If you'll come help me, I'll come help you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite movie? Do you guys have one?
Rocky.
Love it.
Oh gosh. I have so many. I'm drawing blanks here. So
all of mine are like motivational movies. Rocky is one of them.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, that's a funny one.
Forrest Gump was up there. I like Good Will Hunting. I don't know why that just popped in my mind, but
okay. Well, good. Okay, last one. Favorite sports team?
New York Yankees. I know everybody in Houston hates that. Originally from both Gary and I are originally from upstate New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't hear the accent. You must have been down here long enough to get.
I still don't say y'all and fixin'.
Funny story you say fixin' because we moved to Phoenix for 1 year, and I've been in Texas 54 out of my 55. And my wife said, told somebody, we're fixing to go to the store. And he said, you're what? You're fixing what? He just got the biggest kick out of that term for sure. So, well, guys, I can't thank you enough for giving me some time today. And you have really exposed me to a new way of doing business in regards to real estate transactions. And I think it'll pique a lot of interest for people to reach out to you if they look to buy or sell. So how would be the best way to get in touch with either of you or both of you? We know we have the phone number scrolling below. Is there a website that they can go to or an email that they can go to reach you as well?
Website is FSBO.com, TexasFisbo.com, or ForSaleByOwner.com, TexasForSaleByOwner.com.
Okay.
Our real estate website is MyCastleRealty.com. And you can reach us on the phone at 713-683-0050.
0050.
Or 54, either one.
Okay, either one. Okay.
Yeah, I said 0 and I'm watching it scroll 4 in front of me.
Okay, sounds good. So I was like, oh my Lord, I have the wrong number scrolling there. So either number will work, right? Yep. Okay. And that will be for Michael or Gary, right?
Yep.
They can just call that number and ask for you guys.
Yes.
Okay. Well, man, I can't thank you enough. I sure appreciate it. And I will have you back on here if you guys can carve out a little bit of time. And if you want to look at on how to set up a podcast, I can definitely show you how to do that. And it's a lot of fun. I have so much fun doing this. I get to learn so much stuff and meet so many cool people. And I just didn't know I already knew you guys. So it's good to reconnect again. So anyway, I'm Mark Zachary with Next Step Home Loans and host of Real Estate Pros of Houston. And if you have any financing questions, we'd be glad to answer those. My number is 832-504-9014, or you can look at our website, which is nextstephomeloans.com, and we'd be honored if you take your next step with us. So that's it for now. We will see you next week on Real Estate Pros of Houston. Take care.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Real Estate Pros of Houston. Follow us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple, and iHeartRadio, and check out our main website at nextstephomeloans.com for more information on mortgage news, loan programs, and getting pre-approved for a home loan or set up a quick home buying consultation. We'll see you next week with another episode of Real Estate Pros of Houston.